with today's topics. First topic is West Asian situation, what is happening between Iran and Israel, and what will be its consequences. It is part of our GS2 and GS3. Mismanagement of plastic waste and how actually it is going to affect the ecological imbalances we would be also talking about in the GS1 and third section. CDP-SURAKSHA platform and the horticulture part of the agriculture, it will be our third topic, that is GS3. Volcanic vortex rings, what are these, will be part of GS1. So the first one, West Asia on edge amid fears of Iran's hit. So since October 7, when Gaza attacked Israel and the militants actually captured and abdicated Israel's people and made them hostage, and lot many people were killed. So there is a direct fight between Israel and Gaza that is currently going on. Iran, through its proxies, be it militia in Houthis or in Lebanon or in Gaza, has been fighting a proxy war against Israel. Although Israel actually attacks Iran directly whenever it has to, but Iran till now has been attacking Israel through these proxies. Israel on April 1, the current flare-up between Iran and Israel also because Iran's commercial embassy in Syria was attacked allegedly by Israel, and that has actually killed close to 13 military people of Iran, with a supreme commander was also killed into this particular strike. As you see, Iran's supreme leader is paying tribute to the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps killed in Damascus. So April 1 airstrike on Iran's consular annex in Damascus, Syria, with several countries including India, US, Russia and France are issuing travel and security alerts to their citizens. India and these countries actually yesterday talked about people should not go to these Iran and Israeli countries because of the fear of major escalation among these two countries. That's why the direct fight between Iran and Israel is on the cusp, and it may happen. If it happens, then it will have its own consequences. So the consequences will be, number one, that the flare up actually that was between Israel and Gaza, that was having a local and regional phenomena, may get actually spread to the whole Middle East. And it happens in the Middle East, then we have seen the Red Sea crisis, etc., that was emerging. It can then become a bigger thing. The problems related to the fossil fuels and its export by the Middle Eastern countries to outside countries can also get affected. You must know that the prices of fossil fuel also increases because of the inflation. Those are caused by the shorter supply because of the constant threat or attacks on the fields. So that can also get affected. Number third, when the countries will have the higher inflation, chances are that they will be effect on the growth potential of the countries. Countries' currencies, especially of the developing currencies, can get further devalued, and because of the inflationary situation, the growth forecast of the countries can get affected. The trade imbalances actually may rise. They may have to fourth actually the problem that can happen is they may have to face the migration related issues also, because countries like India, Pakistan, etc. have so much of labor in West Asian countries. The migrants are higher in number. So whenever these kind of problems actually arise, then these people may have to be evacuated from the war zones. So not only their economic well-being will also get hurt, but also their livelihood and even their own lives will be at stake. So migratory related challenges can also occur. Fifth is the direct cost of war, and that is the civilian and human right violations. You must understand that the violation or the violence actually that is caused by the direct war, etc., is use, and the women have to bear the consequences more. So that is the consequences, and that is the latest actually what is happening in West Asia. US has urged China and Russia also to rein in Iran, and it is also talking to Israel. So, this dispute can be minimized and the chances of the flare-ups can be reduced. Yesterday, USA actually has requested China and Russia to play a constructive role and rein in the Iranian leadership. Mr. Blinken used the call to ask Beijing to use its influence to dissuade Iran from striking Israel. Concerns of retaliation by Tehran have grown after an Israeli airstrike on April 1 leveled an Iranian diplomatic building in Damascus. The United States has repeatedly made public appeals for China to do more to address the crisis, including through pressure on Iran, which supports Hamas. So, till now, Iran and Israel actually has avoided being in the direct conflict. They have fought war. Iran has fought war actually through Hamas, Hezbollah, or in Houthi rebels somewhere in Yemen. But Iran has been attacked directly by Israel. If it happens, then Iran actually can do a limited attack. Iran can use Hamas, Hezbollah, and Houthi, and even actually, do the more intense fighting. Even in direct fight, also, Iran can use the 1200-kilometer direct, missile range missile also. And in when we compare about Israel and Iran's, comparison in the military strengths, then when we talk about the military strengths, then you see in Israel, the forces of Israel is lesser, while actually the budgeted amount is higher. The tanks with Israel are greater in number. When we talk about navy, Iran has more greater naval power. When we talk about missiles, they have 3106 and 1491. When we talk about fighter jets, these are in 460 and 336. Air defense, there is 48 SMNs, and there is comparison of 279. So this is the direct, comparison of Israel and Iran's fighting capabilities. Now we move on to the second topic, and that is India being among 12 nations responsible for 60% of the world's mismanaged plastic waste. India is among the 12 countries responsible for 60% of the planet's mismanaged plastic waste. Through fast developing South Asia's per capita plastic production is among the lowest in the world. Although we have the lowest per capita consumption of plastic, but because of the higher population, we are contributing to greater around 60% of the world's mismanaged plastic source. Global plastic waste generation has risen by 7.11% since 2021. The world is estimated to have generated close to 220 million tons of plastic waste this year. 70 million tons of which is ending up polluting the environment. So when we talk about 220 million tons, the plastic waste that is generated, close to 70 million tons, is affecting the environment and polluting it, because that is not being recycled and reused. The report comes ahead of the fourth meeting of the United Nations Intergovernmental Negotiation Commitment in Ottawa. So 12 countries are responsible. The report also classifies India as a low waste producer polluter due to its low per capita plastic waste, around 8 kg per capita per year. Still, India's mismanaged plastic waste will be less than 1/5 of China and 1/3 of the US. But it does not mean that India actually can sit relax and allow it to happen. Whatever the solid waste plastic rules, etc., has to be even made more sharp, and the penal power of these may have to be increased. Even the rules of origin, actually, where the companies those produce the plastics, etc., they will have to bear more responsibility so the recycle can happen. The data is unequivocally important in waste management capacity are outwaced by rising plastic production. You must have also understand that there is a mountain of plastic, and that is choking even the Himalayan states also. The microplastics that can be trapped even, when we talk about Himalayan mountains, rivers and lakes and streams also, then the microplastic deposition and accumulation has been found in even Himalayan mountain ecosystem. So that is also affecting it. These microplastics can be trapped in glaciers for a long time, and they can be released into rivers during snow melting. The Indian Himalayan region is a critical source of water in the subcontinent that feeds a number of major rivers of India. That includes the Indus, Ganges and Brahmaputra river system. Unscientific plastic disposal is causing soil and water pollution in the Indian Himalayan region and impacting its biodiversity. Rapid and unplanned urbanization and changing production and consumption patterns are also responsible for the plastic waste crisis. So number one, rapid and unplanned urbanization, changing production patterns and consumption patterns are also responsible for the plastic waste generation. The National Green Tribunal also issued notices to the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change recently, the Central Pollution Control Board, and Himachal Pradesh State Pollution Control Board regarding this. So, this is the major problem of the plastic waste. When we talk about plastic waste versus management capacities, every year there is a day when the amount of plastic waste surpasses the capability of the waste management system to manage that. Environment Action, that is a Swiss-based organization, calls it a plastic overshoot day. In 2023, India reached its plastic overshoot day on January 6. There is a systematic ability to deal with the plastic waste. India has one of the highest mismanaged waste index, that is at 98.55%. So when we talk about the mismanaged waste index, that is close to 99% in the world after Kenya, Nigeria and Mozambique, which shows the gap in waste management capacity and plastic consumption is huge. The Government of India claims that it recycles 60% of plastic waste. In a statistical data analysis done by Center for Science and Environment CSE using CPCB data, India is merely recycling 12% of the plastic waste. Close to 20% of this waste is channelized for end-of-life solutions such as co-incineration, plastic to fuel and road making. When we talk about the legal mandate for the waste management, solid waste management rules of 2016, plastic waste management rules of 2016, and extended producer responsibility of 2022 constitute the regulatory framework for plastic waste management for India. Special needs of hill areas are recognized by the solid waste management rules but are not factored in while creating a mandate for both local bodies and producers, importers and brand owners. States across the Indian Himalayan region have also been taking various initiatives to curb the plastic waste. So we have to empower the plastic waste management rules and solid waste management rules and extended producer responsibility more, so that that is how the regulatory framework to deal with the plastic management can then be made more efficient and effective. And India's current capability of recycling 12% of the plastic waste can then further get a boost. So this is how the ecological destruction due to plastic waste management can be improved, it can be reduced. Then comes a new platform that will instantly disperse subsidies to farmers, and the name of his cluster development program Suraksha. S for system, U for unified, R for resource, A for allocation, K for knowledge, S for secure and horticulture, and A for assistance. So this platform is being developed by the Government of India to immediately provide subsidy to the horticulture farmers. When we talk about the subsidy benefits, when they are directly flown into the farmers' accounts, number one, leakages would stop. Farmer will get actually benefits of the subsidies, etc., and they can use this subsidy for better providing inputs, be in the form of seeds or fertilizers, whatever. So the horticulture sector can get further growth. As compared to 2010, the production in the horticulture sector has increased by close to 100 million tons. In 2010, it was close to 240 million tons, while in 2020, it was around 340 million tons. So the horticulture production in India, so the horticulture sectors actually, importance for India is huge. Number two, horticulture provides close to 1/3 of the contribution to the agriculture gross value addition. So when we talk about the agriculture gross value addition, 1/3 of this actually comes from horticulture sector alone. So whenever you are asked about what is Cluster Development Program, CDM Suraksha platform, you can always mention that this is a cluster development program in which we are trying to directly provide subsidy to the horticulture farmers to further improve the production. When we talk about the horticulture, actually over normal agriculture, the benefits of horticulture is number one, they are less water intensive. Two, they provide more crop diversification. Three, they provide better livelihood opportunities. And in the times of crisis, farmers actually can rely on the income streams provided by horticulture. Number four, the prices of horticulture is even higher as compared to few of the food grains. So that is also one of the important horticulture contribution. Horticulture also improves the soil quality because the humus etc. that is provided by horticulture product is used. So that also removes the particular problem of soil erosion. The fertilizer used in this also is capacity required for fertilizers is also lesser. So the fertilizer use is also not more. So this is the sixth benefit. Then comes the limitation. Limitation of horticulture is number one. People are still engaged in the traditional agriculture. Even actually when the water is in lesser quantities, still these people are experiencing or doing the water intensive agriculture. So that is one of the thing. Horticulture also actually traditionally been affected by the irregular water supply. Although the water intensity of them are lower, but the water availability for horticulture sector has been on the lower side because people's awareness and even the government's policies are also not contributing to that aspect. Because it is the agriculture actually which gets the more, awareness and which gets the more attention. So these are the limitations of the horticulture sector, but horticulture can be India's answer to improve. And number third problem is also the challenges regarding horticulture is the value chains. Still, the horticulture products, as we understand that perishable items are more. So the transport facility or the faster transport is still absent. And that also creates challenges for the farmers who are engaged in the horticulture, because the wastage of horticulture is on a higher side because flowers, etc. cannot stay for a longer period when they are there are lesser, cold chains available. So that these are the challenges for the horticulture sector that the government can make a note. Then comes the volcanic vortex rings. What are these? Why this topic? So last week, Mountain Etna. So this Mountain Etna, that is the largest volcano in Europe, Mount Etna. And it is the largest volcano in Europe. And it is among the world's most active and iconic volcanoes. It has been sending up into air, the scientists refer to as the volcanic vortex rings. So the perfect rings of smoke that Mountain Etna is sending into the air, just like that, is being referred as the volcanic vortex rings. Mountain Etna, or simply Etna, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site on the east coast of Sicily, that is the largest island on the Mediterranean Sea. Etna's summit has 5 craters, which are responsible for most of its eruptions. There are also flank eruptions. Etna's eruptive history can be traced back to 500,000 years. Since 1600, at least 60 flank eruptions have happened. Vortex rings are generated when gas, predominantly that is water vapor, is released rapidly through a vent in the crater. So there are craters on the mountain Etna, and those craters actually have vent. And through these vents, if there is a rapid release of water vapor, then actually that looks like this. And that is called the vortex rings. So you can be asked in geography section that what is vortex rings, how these are generated, etc. The rings have been seen above the mountain since April 2, are also circular in nature. Rings are produced by the explosion of gas bubbles within a narrow conduit which shoots the gas at high speed towards the surface. Attrition along the conduit walls slows the movement of the gas jets relative to the center of the conduit. When we talk about it further, volcanic smoke rings were produced in the same way as the dolphins blow bubble rings. The dolphins compress the water in their mouths using their tongue. They push it out of their mouth and create such a pressure that it forms a rings. Similarly, in these mountains, when the vents are there and the vents actually gets even little bit blocked, and there is a narrow conduit through which the water vapor can come above the vents, then that come actually as a rapid bubble sort of conduit. Mount Etna is breaking all its previous records. In the left afternoon of April 2, 2024, a small mouth opened on the northeastern edge of the south crater. The activity does not, however, mean that Etna is going to erupt in particular spectacular way, but yes, this is how the phenomena is emerging. So if you are asked actually that what is the volcanic vortex rings, you can always define and give the examples of Mount Etna. This was today's topics. If you feel that we are able to provide a good quality content, for more such videos, you can like the button and subscribe the channel. Thank you.